Morning both. How are we doing?
Good, Scott. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Nick. Hopefully you like my homage to Rugby Colorno. I have
You little,
teammates there. It's good. Obviously, when this whole coronavirus kicked off, you guys were probably at the forefront of it in the north of Italy, and I know it hit you particularly hard as a region.
In Italy, quarantine was such a bad moment, very bad, because rules were very strict. I live alone, and many people like me, and to go to visit my parents, I need a certificate, the approbation. I went to my parents.
How long were you locked down for in the initial period? It was quite a while, wasn't it?
Which these rules about a month, which these rules so strict. And then something changed, but lockdown lasted about 3 months.
But am I right in thinking as soon as you had the chance that changed and you guys sort of like mobilised as a club? I saw some images of foods being delivered, and is that the case? What sort of things did you do as a community club based in the region?
There's a good thing about quarantine, that the sense of family was very reinforced by this bad moment. And also in Colorno, where we have a great sense of family, many people asked if someone could go to the houses to make some delivery operations and things like this, because they need help. So Stefano Cantoni said, why don't we go to the houses? We asked to our players, and a lot of players from top 12, the first 15, from female first 15, from Serie C, men's second team, said, I'm in. If you want, I'm in. We fight coronavirus in this way with volunteers.
Really impressive, and I but for those at Tigers, obviously Colorno is a top 12 team. Your players are professional, but they gave up their time and they got involved and rallied round. And I know your clubhouse manager, your restaurant there has always been an amazing part of the community. But to prepare meals, take them out, go and involve and support the local Colorno community was an amazing thing to do. Obviously big tough times, and you sort of like did a real big job to support everybody. Where are you sitting now?
So, I mean, the situation is really strict here. At the club, the way we operate is everybody has a temperature taken. Before we start playing against other clubs, everybody will have to have a blood test, a serological test. The first team, we played a friendly last Friday against a team from Rome. And so the Wednesday we all had the serological test. Thankfully, everybody was okay. So we were able to play that game. It's added a huge amount to our costs for a start. We've had to fence off all the pitches so that we're separating each group is operating in their own bubble. Different entrances, different exits. In terms of the performance players, the women's team and the men's team, yeah, they're carrying on sensibly. It's a real challenge, particularly after the trauma of Colorno. Colorno as a town lost a lot of people. Parma lost a huge people. Everybody's desperate to get out and do something and do some activity, but convincing the parents that it's safe is a different challenge.
I don't know if you want to tell us, but you've got a new lad there. I've heard he's all right, knows a bit. What's his name?
John Wells. We're mentoring him.
Yeah, I can see that he might need a bit of support. So Wells, he joined you this summer to start there as the assistant coach, having done an amazing career for us as player, captain, head coach. Fact, everything, and then obviously having spent quite a bit of time with Newcastle with Dean, he's now decided to go and get a bit of sunshine, has he, and offer his services to you. So is he on site? Has he been there? Has he started to?
Yeah, he's been here. Sorry, he's been here ever since we started pre-season. His Italian language skills, how would you describe his Italian, Manuel?
It's improving.
That's very good.
Improving, yeah. In terms of the junior setup and the youth team, they're now back in some form of training as well, understanding the protocols you've got. How have you been affected numbers-wise there?
So we've got a really strong group of 18s, 44 players, I think. Clubs around us, there's a couple of clubs around us who are struggling a little bit with numbers. So we're looking at some collaboration with them. And the minis, again, we have we use Diddy Rugby here, a Leicester project, and that's given us a really good. We initiated that last season, and that's given us a really good feed in this season.
Actually, it really doesn't seem that long ago that we were talking about you going up into the top 12, because we've lost almost 3/4 of the year, haven't we? So your first season in the Premiership was sort of like has been lost. So I can imagine you're really, really chomping at the bit to get in, because you've done well, haven't you? The plan was there to stay up and first year stay up and go into the big leagues, and you've done that. So now you hopefully be able to cement that, and you're probably chomping at the bit to actually do more than just stay up this year, yeah?
I think we learned a lot last year. We learned a lot about pragmatism of playing rugby at the top level, and we were really enjoying going to enjoy the second half of the season. We just played one round of games. We played everybody once. Yeah, we're ready to go. One thing to say is that, sign of the times, 2 of the top 12 clubs have disappeared, so it's now the top 10.
Well, I mean, I guess it's going to be a challenge. I mean, if you read the press in the paper at the moment about that, even the Premiership is under a lot of pressure as soon as they've taken off the fact that we might not get crowds in. You know, it puts pressure on every club, and I can only imagine if you're solely, like a lot of the Italian clubs are funded by a sole, you know, almost local sponsor, very community, very driven that way, that they must have been massively impacted. But guys, really appreciate your time, and we shall catch up soon, yeah? Stay healthy, keep well.
Okay.
Cheers. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
See you soon.
Cheers.